We'll call this meeting to order. You'll stand and join us in the pledge.
We have Mr. Landon Bryant tonight, a first grader, who is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Just speak into that, baby. Right here's the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good, Landon.
At this time, we will reconvene the March 20th meeting, statutory meeting, and we'll open the floor for any comments or concerns about the tax levy order. No comments or concerns. I'll ask for a motion to approve the 2012-2013 tax levy order as presented and approved by the State Auditor of West Virginia.
I move. I second.
Any board members got any questions, or you got anything you want to say, Brody? Okay. How do you vote?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I'll ask for a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting.
I'll motion.
Second. At 6:10. How do you vote?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Now we're going to our regular meeting. I want to get it, Deb, I'd like to thank you and appreciate this. And the nice crowd you got here tonight, all the food.
We try to do things right up here.
Very nice.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
At this time, I'll ask for a motion to approve the minutes of March 27th and April 10th, regular meeting. Second. Anybody got any questions or concerns? How do you vote?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Public comments. Debbie Davis, first on the list.
The only thing that I want to do right now is to introduce some speakers that are going to be speaking to you on behalf of our counselors, Mr. Rhodesy and Ms. Croteau. When these children heard that we were losing our counselors, they came to me, a whole group of them, and they had come up with a plan to keep them. They were going to sell their used toys. They wanted to sell lemonade. They wanted to have a bake sale. They are prepared to do whatever it takes to keep our counselors, even if that means them going and raising money. One little boy went and told his grandmother that he needed money. And he said that he was bringing a can or a bag to school, and he was going to collect all the money that he could possibly collect to pay to keep Mr. Rhodesy and Miss Croteau. And I think that that really speaks to the character of these children. So what you are hearing tonight is their words and their thoughts and their hearts. And I'll let you introduce our first speaker.
Desmond Napper.
Good evening. My name is Desmond Napper. I am in Miss Dempsey's 4th grade class. I am here on behalf of Miss Croto and Mr. Rutsey. I want them to stay at Harts Pre-K through them. Why? Because they are our favorite counselors. Mr. Rutsey and Miss Croto help everyone with problems that happen at school and home. They do not shout nor yell. They are great counselors to have. Students and teachers love them. They are the best. Please let us keep them. They mean so much to us. Thank you.
Yes.
There it is. He didn't have it on. Des, would you come back and say that again, please?
I don't think he had it.
Simply because you had the mic accidentally turned off. And the audience wants to hear what you've got to say as well as the board.
Good evening. My name is Desmond Napper. I am in Miss Dempsey's 4th grade class. I am here on behalf of Miss Croto and Mr. Rutsey. I want them to stay at Harts Pre-K through 8th. Why? Because they are our favorite counselors. Mr. Rutsey and Miss Croto help everyone with problems that happen at school and at home. They do not shout nor yell. They are great counselors to have. Students and teachers love them. They are the best. Please let us keep them. They mean so much to us. Thank you.
Bethany Raines.
Hi, my name is Bethany Rakes. I am in the 3rd grade. I appreciate you taking the time to let us all speak to you. Mr. Rutsey is not just our counselor, he is our friend. When we need someone to talk to, we know we can go to him. He always knows how to make us smile. Mr. Rutsey has taught us so much. He has taught us the 8 habits. Be proactive, begin with the end in mind, put first things first, think win-win, seek first to understand and then to be understood, synergize and sharpen the saw. And he always tells us to find our own voice. All of these habits have made me a better student. He has also told us to find our own space. When I was in kindergarten, I used to be more of a follower than a leader. But after being with Mr. Rutsey for the past 4 years, I've become a dedicated leader. If Mr. Rutsey leaves, I will be so sad because he has helped me make who I am today. We love Mr. Rutsey. I can't imagine what our school would be like without him. He volunteers for every after-school event to make us feel safe. Please don't take Mr. Rutsey away. I believe he has made a difference in our community. We love him and we need him. Thank you.
The next one is, sorry about the first name, I cannot make it out, Workman, Mrs. Workman.
Alyssa?
Huh?
Alyssa?
Okay.
Hi, my name is Elisa. Mr. Rutsey helped me when my 2 great-aunts passed away. He helped me feel better. When other kids' family passed away, he would help them too. When kids had problems, he would help them work it out. He wouldn't let them team up on each other. He learned us the 7 habits, which are be proactive, begin with the end in mind, seek first to understand, then to be understood, synergize, sharpen the saw, and find your voice. Without Mr. Oatsy, our school wouldn't be the same. And we all love Mr. Oatsy, so please keep him.
Brianna Rakes.
Hi, my name is Brianna Rakes, and I would like to keep Mr. Oatsy and Mrs. Croton. Mr. Oatsy has been so good for the school by helping out with the kids. The first thing he has done for this school is taught us the 8 habits. He has told us what they mean. He helps solve our problems we have. Mr. Oatsy is my superhero. He taught us to find our own space. He is very special to this school. He is the kind of person I would want to be. Thank you.
Michael Dalton. Allie Williamson. Brandon Lambert.
Great.
Great.
I graduated 9 in Miss Dempsey's 4th grade class. Mr. Oatsy is not only our counselor, he is our friend. We all love Mr. Oatsy. He loves us too. Without him here, there will be more bowling, less friendships. Please let him stay. Thank you. My name is Allie Williamson, and I'm in Miss Kathy Thompson's 4th grade class. I'm on the Board of Education. I would like to keep Mr. Oatsy because he is not just our guidance counselor. He is our friend, and we love him very much, and he loves us too. Thank you. I'm Piper Dalton, and I'm in the Dempsey's homeroom classroom. I want you to keep Mr. Oatsy because he has taught us all the 8 habits and has been with us for 4 years. We would appreciate if you would do that. Please let him stay. Thank you.
Very well done, Kevin. We have the same concern for you all over the county.
And this has been their words. We didn't help them at all with this, and it was their idea. I mean, for children to care that much is just, it is amazing.
Thank you. Okay. I guess, we're ready for your annual report.
For those of you that are parents and community members, what happens is every school has a local school improvement council, and that council meets at least 4 times a year and works on things that will improve our school. And every local school improvement council has to present to the local Board of Education their improvement plan once a year, and our board comes out to the school for us to do our presentation. So that's what you are going to hear tonight, is our plan of what we want to do to make our school better. We're going to start, and if you can't see our screen, maybe you can move over some to where you can. And I'll try to get up here so I'm not in everybody's way. We're going to start with the fact that we are a school under construction. We are, as you know, a brand new school. We just recently combined Harts Pre-K Primary and Harts Intermediate into Harts Pre-K 8. So we feel like we are just beginning on this road. To go back to last year, when we were still two schools, every year, we have schools get an AYP status. That's annual or adequate yearly progress. And what that is based on is West Test scores. West Test scores have to meet certain criteria by the state of West Virginia in order for you to pass and meet AYP, or for you not to meet AYP. They have raised the bar on us for several years, and the test has gotten more rigorous and way harder than you would ever imagine. So for AYP status for last year, Harts Primary did meet the criteria set down by the state. Harts Intermediate did not. Now, just so you will know, and to give you a little information, only 2 schools in Lincoln County did make AYP. All the other schools did not. And a lot of that has to do with the rigor that they have put into the test. It also has to do with they set the standards higher for a student to score proficient in reading and math. They had to score at a higher level than what they did the year before. And they keep raising the bar on us, and hopefully within a few years, our goal in the state of West Virginia and Lincoln County, as well as the United States, is to have everyone reading and doing math on grade level. That's a vast and huge undertaking. It is a dream that we all want to see achieved. Our West Test scores. And like I said, this is where I'm not very good at technology, guys. Not yet. There we go. Okay. When they look at West Test scores, they look at the scores for the entire school. They look at what you scored if you were your white population, your black population, your Hispanic, Asian, India. They look at special ed, low SES, and English as a second language. Now, as you all know, here in Harts, we're basically about 98% white. So that's why you see the NA under Black, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, because you have to have at least 50 students fall into that category before they will even give you a score on that. Now, we get those scores for the children, but it doesn't count against us as far as meeting AYP. The same is true with special ed and low SES. Now, low SES, we have more than 50. We have about 75% of our students are low SES, which is low socioeconomic status. Special ed, we do not have 50. We don't have 50 now as Harts Pre-K-8. So our special ed will not count against us this year. This is for Harts Primary, and as you can see, the areas that would have counted against us are all check marked, meaning that we did meet AYP. Next we have Harts Intermediate, And if you will notice that under math, there is X's under white and all, and also under low SES. Usually though, if you have an X on one of those, you'll have an X on the other because we have such a high percentage. But this tells us that in math, and math is one of the toughest areas that they test now, and last year a lot of schools did not meet AYP due to the math test scores. But we met in reading. We did not, however, meet in math. Now to go over a few of those test scores and let you know how we rank within the county and the state. If you will look, let's see if I can get my little red thing to work. This is the subgroup of all grades. This is the one you really want to look at because this is every child that was tested. The top line is going to tell you what percentage we had in math, what percentage the county had, what percentage the state had. As you can see in math proficiency, this is for Hart's primary. In math proficiency, 51% of our students were proficient in math. 33% were proficient on the county level. 43% were proficient on the state level. So we were actually above the county and the state in grades 3 and 4 in math, which is wonderful. I mean, that score is a wonderful test score. Reading, 35% of our students were proficient. Lincoln County was 39%. The state was 47%. Even though we met AYP, that is not an acceptable score. We are below the county and below the state, and that's not where we want to be. And I'll talk a little bit later about what we are going to do to raise reading test scores. We've already got a lot of things in place, but in all honesty, I think 35% of our students being proficient in reading and math is just not acceptable to me. On the other hand, 39 for Lincoln County is not acceptable for Lincoln County. The same is true for 47. We're saying that more than half of our students in the state of West Virginia are not on grade level in reading. So it's not acceptable for the state, much less for us. However, we take pride in doing the best that we can possibly do and in being the best. It's not good enough for us to be second place. It's not good enough for us to be third place. We want to be first in our school, in our county, and in the state. And that's what we are striving to do. Science and social studies we did not do very well in, but the science and social studies is actually not even a part of meeting AYP. And we have chosen to focus more on reading than we have in social studies and science because we see that that's a weakness and we feel that children need to know the social studies and science part. But we are focusing this year on teaching them how to read the social studies and science textbooks because a lot of the reading on the West test is that type of reading. And when it comes to reading a textbook, it's a lot different than just sitting down and reading a novel or a piece of literature. Hart's intermediate scores. Again, we want to look at all of the students, and in math proficiency, they had 21% of their students were on level in math. Lincoln County had 35%, West Virginia had 43.09%. We've got a big gap there, and we've been working hard this year to try to overcome that. We've taken our math students and we've separated them into 2 classes with about 25 kids in each class. We have divided them into 3 classes. All of our teachers are either working on a math degree or have a math degree, with Carolyn Toppings being nationally board certified now. So we're going to be moving up in our math. I think that we're on the right track with it. It's just going to take some time in order for us to get our students where they need to be. Reading proficiency. We were at 37.11%. The county was at 39%. The state was at 47.70%. There again, you've got more than 50% in your state population that is scoring below level in reading. And I will tell you, if you would see some of the reading that is on this test and some of the math that is on this test, you guys couldn't score proficient in it. It is that difficult. What they are expecting our children to know now has really grown leaps and bounds compared to what it is or was when you were in school. And it just amazes me when I see what our children are required to do now. Kindergarten, a lot of you all went to kindergarten, and if you will remember, a lot of it was play. Now, kindergarten is your first grade. There's where they learn to read. Preschool is a lot of socialization with children. And they do a lot of play and learning through play. But it's just unreal how much things have changed in education as far as the content that we're required to teach. Science and social studies are still not very high. And that's an area that our science and social studies teachers have been working on really hard this year. And they've seen a lot of growth in their benchmark, which is sort of like a test that we take to see where the children are, what they need to know, and what we can do to try to make them or help them learn the skills that they need to know in order to be proficient on this test. I'm learning talk. Oh, going backwards now. Not quite where I thought it was. Kids are more proficient in technology than I am now. And the teachers are too, because I don't do it every day.
Ms. Davis, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
In the enforcement area, of course, you pointed out that in science and social studies, the scores are much lower in the state, in the county, in the school.
Uh-huh.
Do you have any idea why that is?
I think that's because the reading level is so difficult.
Because all the tests is really a reading test.
Yes, yes.
So if you're thinking the content, the terminology.
All the content that they have to know.
So it's not just reading words, it's really actually science, ideas, theories,
Yes.
social studies,
Yes.
principles.
Yes, like reading a passage from the Declaration of Independence and interpreting what that passage means.
Or
And
like,
if you've ever read the Declaration of Independence, that is just, you know, the language they use is, and that's like on a fourth grade level that they're testing on that.
here's a, for instance, on the social studies. They had, in third grade now, this is third grade, and we're talking at least a half a page. There was 4 documents that they had to read, and then they had to analyze those 4 documents and interpret them, and they had to keep on going back and forth to each document. Or it's document 1, compare it to document 3, and it's very difficult.
So it's higher level reading skills
Oh,
and thinking.
oh,
And
yeah.
thinking, yes, yes.
The social
And-
studies is more thinking from when I was teaching it, even back when I was doing the teaching. It was more thinking than it was recall. You have to take stuff that you knew and about this and something you knew about this and hypothesize and come up with the answers. It's not just a matter of simple recall, it's a whole lot of thinking.
Yeah.
It's not like questions, what is the first president of the United States?
Just
No.
not recalling.
If you can't think and reason,
Evaluation.
evaluate, it's sort of like Bloom's taxonomy, the higher levels. That's what it all is now. And even the math is no longer computation. I don't think that fourth grade, if I remember correctly, fourth grade did not have one actual just computation problem.
On reading.
All reading problems. And you know, when we used to test with CTBS and everything, the bulk of it was computation. You know, if you could add, subtract, multiply, and divide, you were fine on it. But now, you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide and still not be fine. Unless you can interpret what they're asking. It's just, it's amazing.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay. Another area that they look at on AYP is the attendance rate. We've really worked hard. Our counselors have worked really hard. And last year, Harts Primary's attendance rate was 98%. And we do bonuses and give prizes and rewards for students who have less than 2 days a month absent and have no tardies. And we really have focused on attendance. At one point, I spoke to you all, I think 2 years ago. Harts Primary's attendance rate was the lowest in the county. You remember that? And now it is one of the highest. And so I give all the credit for that to our counselor, Mr. Rhodesy. I mean, he initiated an attendance rewards incentive program that just, they're here. And it's really helped. And at Harts Intermediate, theirs was 97.1. And I'll say this for Ms. Tony, who was principal at Harts Intermediate, and Ms. Croto, who was the counselor there. They make more home visits than I make. They get out and they go to these houses and they make sure that those parents are aware and that they know that their children should be in school. I was amazed at the home visits that they actually make. Usually a week doesn't go by that they're not making a home visit for someone in those higher grades. And what I typically do is just pick up the phone, call the person, and they'll either come in or we'll have a 20-minute conversation on the phone, but they get very personal and up close with them. So I relate a lot of that to their diligence for Harts Intermediate's attendance being that high. So we had a combined average of 97.55%, and I think that's really great when you consider our area, because typically we've had a really hard time with attendance over the past years. And I think a lot of that, I give the credit to our counselors for that. Plans for improvement for achieving AYP. We're going to focus on improving our math skills. We've been doing that this year, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. Don't ever move another school in the middle of the year. I thought that we wanted to move in the middle of the year. Whenever it was ready, we wanted to get in here. Everybody did. But we didn't realize the toll that it was going to take on the staff. Now, the children have adapted very well. But with the staff, it's been a major, major shift. However, I really think that we're not where we would have been had we stayed in our old schools. I think we lost some instructional time along the way because we were packing right before Christmas. We moved during Christmas, and we were trying to adjust the month of January. And it has been a process. I think that next year we're going to grow by leaps and bounds, and I see us growing already this year. We're growing as a staff. We're learning how to get along with one another. We're coming together as a team, and a lot of factors have gone into play. So I really think that if we can maintain this year here, that we will be doing wonderfully. That's our goal, is to maintain, and then next year we're going to take off full steam. And I almost hate to even say this, but I want to inform you all, and I probably shouldn't say this. But I didn't want my teachers to know this, but we won't have an AYP status for next year.
I never know.
It's because we are a new school.
What?
You all didn't need to hear that.
We did.
Good, good. It will be a baseline year for us, which is really good, because you can't expect people to go through the change that we have went through and maintain what you've got.
You might as well tell them they're all guessing. So.
No, they probably already know. I mean, but we're still working hard, and
We haven't quit.
they have not quit because they haven't quit.
I think Sean got it too. Sean got it. Listen to it on video.
Pardon?
Listen to it on video on the internet.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Sean, you need to delete that
We'll
part.
see.
But anyhow, we are focusing on improving math, and I told you what we were doing with our math. We have got in 3rd and 4th grade and 5th grade, we have departmentalized, and our math, we have teachers that are teaching just math. And instead of teaching math, science, social studies, writing, spelling, reading, then we have teachers that are teaching the reading and writing and spelling and English. And so we're trying to focus our staff as well as everything else we're doing around improving our math scores. We're also focusing on improving reading language arts. I don't know why, and I wish someone could figure it out and let me know, but we always see a gap between 2nd and 3rd grade reading in every test scores that we give. We do what we call DIBELS, which is, it's a test to check students to see how well they know the skills that are required for reading. We, for years, have seen that. And when I talk to Mrs. Coburn, our Title I teacher and reading specialist, she says that that is nationwide, that they see the gap. I talked to the Title I person in Logan County, Darlene Adkins, and she says that they also see it in Logan County, that there is a big drop-off from 2nd to 3rd grade, and I really think that it's because the focus switches, and instead of teaching children to read, we're now teaching them to understand what they read, and that's a whole new ballgame. And that's where they get bogged down, is they may be able to read those words that are on that page. They may not be able to tell you what they read. And this year, Logan County has started doing what they call Reader's Cafe with their third grade teachers. And they graciously, Wilma Zigman and Darlene, invited our third grade teachers to participate free of charge. We didn't have to do anything but purchase the books that they were using in the classroom, the literature books. And this is through Columbia University in New York City. New York City teachers have to go through this reading program at Columbia in order to be certified to teach in New York. And so it is a very prestigious program. Donna, you may be aware of the lady that's over at Lucy Calkins. Does that name ring a bell? And our teachers have participated, and I know one day Kim Blair came to me and she said, I'm going to use a different name, she said, Johnny's reading. And I said, well, you know, that's great. She said, no, he's reading. He's actually excited about reading. And this child is an at-risk student. He has been retained once. He has been tested. He is not on level. And to have him pick up a book and independently read it on his own because he wants to read it is a miracle in and of itself. Because usually you will find that all struggling readers, they don't read. That's just not what they do because they have such a difficult time doing it. But this little boy is reading now, and it's wonderful to see the difference in these third grade children. Next year, she's hoping, or Logan County is hoping, to take this program to second and fourth grade teachers. And I told Darlene, I said, if you have a choice, if you can only do one grade level, please do second grade, because that's where the gap is occurring, and that's where we need to catch these kids. So whatever they do, we're going to participate again. And I think it's been a wonderful experience. Kim Light and Kim Blair both have went to all of the meetings. And
I couldn't get him to put the books down.
Yeah.
I could not get him to stop reading when he came to my class. That's how much he, it just amazed me.
We're doing staff development. One of the things that we're going to do this summer, we're going to go on a retreat. And we just heard when we went to Arizona, the principals, we heard a lady who had written a book called Worksheets Don't Grow Dendrites. And this lady was amazing. I mean, she had 20 teaching strategies that teachers could use rather than using a worksheet. And they were just awesome. She got our attention by saying that if we came to the afternoon session, she was going to tell us how to never grow old. And so Charlene and the rest of us, we had to go. She piqued our curiosity, but she was so good in the morning session that we were going to go anyhow. And one of the first things that she said, as far as never, not aging, was to never retire. And then she cited all the people who have retired and 6 months later they're dead. And then she cited all the people who are still working into their 90s. And we just looked at each other and said, well, we probably won't be retiring anytime soon. And then she said to laugh often. And even the Bible says that a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. So that was two of the things that she told us. But I mean, she's coming to Lincoln County. She was so good that Charlene came back and has contracted with her to come to Lincoln County to speak to all of the teachers. And we're going to spend 2 days this summer going through her books that she has written. And I just got them in the other day. And we're going to look at those teaching strategies, and we're going to start incorporating some of those. Some of them we already do. Teacher collaboration. I don't know, I assume that the board, and I'm going to try to speak this up a little bit, but I assume that the board is aware of what the principals are asking about an early release. Do you want me to say anything?
Oh, no, I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I have no
The
secrets, I
principals,
just haven't told us.
the Principals Association has looked at our daily schedules, and we are banking enough time, and what I mean by bank time is that we have enough time over the amount of minutes that the state requires us to have on a given day of instruction. And we want to use an hour of bank time 1 day a week to do either an early dismissal or a 1 hour delay for students. And at that time, teachers will come together and collaborate with one another. They will do PLCs, professional learning communities. They will talk about achievement of students and what they can do to raise that achievement. So that's something that's on the table for us, and there are several counties in the state of West Virginia that are doing this now. It seems to be working, but the hardest thing with teacher collaboration is finding the time in a school day, and there's just not any time. So you either have to do it after school or before school. And if you do it after school, teachers won't pay if it's on their own time. So we don't have all that much money, as you know. We also are a Covey school. For those of you that are not aware, Stephen Covey has 7 habits. He has 8 now. That he says if we live by those 7 habits, or 8, we will be a great person. And we have been working with Stephen Covey and his team of people. We did a site visit to the #1 elementary school in the United States, A.B. Combs Elementary. They are were the first Covey school. The principal at this school has done a lot of work for the state of West Virginia, Department of Education, in working with principals, because she is just so outstanding. Her name is Muriel Summers. And she went up to Stephen Covey when he wrote the 7 Habits book and told him, said, how do we do this with children? He didn't think it could be done, but she did. And Mr. Rotze and Ms. Croteau and several other staff members and myself, we went to this A.B. Combs school. I can only hope that one day we will be like them. We were on the waiting list, was it 2 years? 2 years.
Where is this?
It's in North Carolina, in Raleigh. We came back and immediately got on the waiting list again. So that maybe 2 years down the road we can send another group. And it's teaching students to be leaders and to take charge of their own life and their own learning. And as you heard these kids talk this evening, I think that these children have definitely, the 8th habit is finding your voice. And these children tonight have found their voice. So I see a lot of growth in our school. Another instrument that we're using is IPI. And this is Jerry Valentine out of the University of Missouri. He developed this instrument for going to classroom and checking student engagement. And it's what students are doing the minute you walk in the room. Are they engaged in their learning? So we're using that, and what you typically find, what the studies have shown and everything, is that students are not as engaged as we thought they were. So we're working on increasing the percentage of our student engagement using this IPI formula that Jerry Valentine has developed. He's also done a lot of work with the West Virginia Department of Education, with principals and teachers as well. And he, with his training, if you can't pass the test that he sets up, you're not certified to go from classroom to classroom and decide if they are engaged or not. So you have to have a lot of training in order to do that. Well, I knew you were going to ask that.
Instructional practices inventory.
Instructional practices inventory.
I was sitting here trying to remember.
Well, I kept thinking, it just slipped my mind, and I thought, oh my God, I hope nobody asks me what IPI stands for.
But we all had to pass the test too.
Yeah.
Everyone in the central office.
Yes.
Yes.
I only missed one, I made 95%. We are doing, these are some of the other things that we are doing, and I'm going to go back through them real quick. We have a contract with the Clay Center where they come in and do a music tutoring program. Our students get guitar lessons, individual guitar lessons. We have Read 180, which is a county program that we've adopted for our older students. We have Tiered Interventions, which is a program that all schools in the state of West Virginia are using. And what I mean by tiers is that they take this test. If they score at grade level, their instruction continues. If they score that they need a little bit of extra help, our Title I teachers provide that help for them. Critical skills instruction and after school, that's for our 3rd and 8th grade students who are at risk of failing. 21st Century After School Program, that's run in conjunction with Michael Tierney and his step-by-step program on Big Ugly. They do homework help, tutoring, and they do activities, and they also feed our students who participate a hot evening meal. Our Covey Leadership Program I've spoken about. Performing arts, we have this great stage, and we're looking forward next year to doing a lot of performing arts as we have in the past. This is the first year since I can remember that we did not do a talent show. And our children really missed it. But not only did they miss it, so did I. So I'm hoping we will start that back up next year. We have a very innovative counseling program. Our counselors are in classrooms all the time. They spend 75% of their time counseling students, at least, if not more. We are working in collaboration with West Virginia Department of Education. We have Michelle Black from the Department of Ed who comes in and works with us on bringing us together as a staff. We are having staff retreats, and we have a huge amount of participation in that. We also, right now, are providing daily physical education instruction for all students. Policy says that our older students only have to have physical education instruction 18 weeks. And is that 18 weeks, Belinda, for a 3-year period? Every year. Every year. We're providing it all year long because we think that it's so important. We also have moved our art and music instruction to all grade levels, and our little kids are just thrilled to be getting art and music now. They only get it one day a week and they have to choose. Teachers had to choose between art or music. But they love it.
But they just switched it. They still, that they got art. They buy.
They switch every 9 weeks,
Yeah.
right? Hopefully next year we'll be able to provide more of that. Facility improvement, we met on our bond issue the other night. And these are some of the things that we've talked about. Our playground, just so you know, we have purchased playground equipment for 2 different age groups, our younger children and our older children. We are ready to install that. We also got a grant from the legislature for $26,000. And we are going to use that as well, and that we're hoping is going to put in outside basketball courts and hopefully a tennis court. We need more parking. We've talked to the SBA, and we're in the process of trying to get them to approve for more money to be spent, and there is more money. The architect, Dave Ferguson, told us the other night that there is enough money to actually do a lot of this. Probably not upgrade our athletic fields, but to do the parking and the additional classrooms that we need. Our enrollment has grown by almost 100 students from what the projected enrollment was going to be when they were building this school. And we are pretty much at capacity. Well, we are at capacity. We are using rooms that were not meant to be used as classrooms for regular classrooms now. We have expanded that much. We have 3 kindergartens, 3 third grades, and 3 preschools. And when they built the school, they actually only projected for 3 kindergarten classrooms, not the other 3 classrooms. So we're using every bit of space that we have. If we have to add another classroom, we'll have to have it portable. That's where we are at this point in time. The other night, we talked about upgrading our athletic fields. That would be one of our priorities if we pass a bond, and that would be something that we would be willing to work toward. We ask that you bear with us as we grow and we construct and build this school, because the building itself does not make the school, it's the people in it. And we welcome you to our beginning. Thank you.
Debbie,
Yes. I'm sorry.
I'm sure the board all feels the same as I do, that we've got complete confidence in you and your staff, and you will do a great job there.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I should ask you all if you have any questions.
I had some, I'm sorry to interrupt, I had some petitions on behalf of the students as well that I would like to submit.
Debbie, I would also like to echo what Mr. Curry said. I certainly appreciate everything that you do, and Ms. Tony and the staff. You all do a wonderful job. I certainly appreciate it.
Well, it truly is a team effort. There's no way I could do it on my own. Today, when we were looking at all of our food and what everybody needed to do, I mean, we had people running all over the place, making sure that everything was done. Our parents have done some things today that
I don't know what we do do without?
I don't know what we would do without them. Carolyn Toppings came in this evening and she said, I'm gonna tell you something. You owe these people a dinner at a nice restaurant somewhere. And she said, you really, really owe them. And so we do work as a whole unit and not as individual people going about. And we couldn't pull off the things that we do if it weren't for us being a team. And that means a lot.
Well, just like getting ready to move, remember you telling us how the parents jumped in and helped you all pack, and they actually helped move. I mean,
I never packed one thing. My office was packed up for me and moved for me, and a lot of it unpacked for me, all by them. And they did a lot. You should go in our library and look at all the books. They organized every bit of that. They do a wonderful, wonderful job.
But again, we appreciate everything. That
I
you all
appreciate
do
you
as
all
a-
and all the support
as
that
a
you give
staff
us.
and, the community. This is great. This is great.
Debbie, I'd like to commend you on you explaining all this to the parents. I know the teachers already do this, but we've never had a principal to turn to the public and the parents and show them exactly what it takes to meet AYP and to explain to them the schools and everything like that. And I think that was really good for them. And I know the teachers already do that.
Yes.
The public doesn't, and our parents don't. And that was wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, we're ready to move on to the administrative items. I need a motion.
I move.
Second.
Second.
Okay, you got any? Chris, please.
Okay, A, approve the allocation totaling $5,000 to the Lincoln County High School Speech and Debate Team, who will compete in the National Catholic Forensic League Tournament, May the 24th through the 28th in Baltimore, Maryland. That will be paid through the levy funds. B, to uphold the superintendent's 10-day suspension without pay of the service personnel for violations of state code relating to maintaining a safe distance from the vehicle in front while operating a school bus, maintaining an appropriate speed for the existing conditions, and maintaining control of the bus, as well as violations of state board policy 4336, using cellular phones or other portable electronic devices while driving a bus. C, to uphold the superintendent's 2-day suspension without pay of the service personnel for failure to comply with state board policy 4336 relating to allowing a student to stand while the bus is in motion, discharging the students only at the designated location, not changing the location of the stop without approval, using caution when approaching a stop, and activating amber warning lights. Assure all students are exiting at authorized stop and use of specified stops unless an emergency change is made. D, an agreement with West Virginia State Auditor's Office to provide audit of all school financial records for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2011, according to the provisions of the agreement. That's where they're going into each individual school. They started that yesterday. E, 5 additional employment days for Amy Atkins, LCH, as Secretary Accountant during the month of June 2012. F, the adoption of the following policies that were on public review from March the 6th, 2012 until now. Employment of personnel in summer school programs 4120.05 and Lincoln County School Service Personnel Evaluation Policy 4220. G, school volunteers who on occasion may also serve as bus chaperones or provide transportation for students to and from athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings, who have provided proof of private vehicle liability insurance and have completed volunteer or orientation listed for Lincoln with Stonewall Resort to provide lodging, meals, and meeting space for the annual Lincoln County School Administrators Retreat, July the 29th through the 31st. There's an attached agreement, and that is being paid for through professional development funds as well as Medicaid. So if you want to look at B and C and go into executive session.
Pleasure of the board to go into executive session on personnel matter.
I'll make the motion.
I second.
How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. Go into executive session on personnel issue. Yeah, B is for us to walk out there. So I don't think they-
Debbie, do a call.
Yeah, you all can use our conference room. And if you'll follow Miss Tony, she will.
Want to say,
You're talking about
yeah, we're.
Board did meet in executive session on personnel issues. We're now back in open session. Got any more questions on administrative technical?
I do, on E, 5 additional employment days for Amy Adkins, the secretary at the high school, secretary accountant during the month of June, and paid for by county funds. Now, why? I mean, what was her reason?
Okay, Mr. Sachs, Amy is the only one that does anything with finances in the, as far as the secretaries at Lincoln County High School. And in order to be able to close out the month, and there are many, issues that toward the end of the month, correct? Or
Into the school year.
Into the school
We
year.
started early last year, we had to bring Amy in early. So use her legs, and really, her position really just needs some more days.
What is it now?
She's 220 days.
220.
The president's 240. She manages all the finances over there. And we just really probably need to look at giving her a few more days so that the principal has a secretary when he's on the job.
he's there too. He's trying to close out.
So he recommended this.
He
and you
did.
approved it.
Yes, I'm asking for you guys to approve.
And this is just a one-time.
Yeah, I
for
know.
This year now.
Yeah.
But I think we need to maybe consider that.
Okay, and on H, an agreement with Stonewall Resort for the administrators, and there's 35 people going, is that correct?
That's the number that they have projected here. And we have, I think Jeremy told me, this is for all of the principals and assistant principals and in the central office staff. And what do you say he has gotten up to?
Well, he's got 30.
30.
And he's-
Yeah, we wanted to invite you all as well.
you'll get something more official, but more is included.
Yes.
You remember we went to Chief Lovey last year, or
Yes.
something similar.
We do a lot of the policies, going over the policies. We do a lot of things that we don't have time to do during the year, and it is a packed full. Oh, yes, okay. No, but
Not the event itself.
oh, okay.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Any other questions? How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Can I ask for the names of the B and C?
B is Sherry Smith,
Could you spell that?
Sherri.
Smith.
Yes.
And C?
Steve Puckett.
Puckett.
Yes.
And can I ask, is there a reason there's such detail? Is that going to be usual for suspensions from now on, that the full allegation is laid out? Or the
This
full?
was due to the bus accidents. We felt it necessary to put all the detail.
But we won't be seeing that necessarily with every.
Not
Okay.
necessarily so.
Alrighty.
On finance, I need a motion and a second.
A second.
Got any questions on the finance? No? How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Item number 7 will be personnel.
I move.
Second.
Okay, Chris?
As you see, this is a very short personnel schedule. A, the employment of short or and long-term substitute professional personnel is section A. Section B is a leave of absence for the employee from March the 26th, 2012 through May the 2nd, 2012.
Have any questions? None, I'll ask for a vote. How do you vote?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Comments and concerns, Lincoln County High School sign.
I think what I'd like to just make a comment on the Lincoln County High School sign, that it is complete. And I think we can sleep better tonight. I think it looks very nice.
It does.
You can read it quite clearly as you're driving by.
We completed that. Can we talk about the other sign?
There's no pleasing you, is there?
Well, since that was finalized, the first sign number 1, is still there. We talked about that before, the one that you can't read very well, everything. I'd just like for us to, at some point, to decide what we want to do with that. Whether it be re-lettering it or making a monument there, I don't know. Something. If we could discuss that sometime. I'd still always just thought if we would do something similar to what Mr. Sachs did at the high school, where we just put Lincoln County High School in big black letters or something, other than just not having anything on it. Or those small metal letters I can't read.
Anything that's readable, I mean, right now it's so much unreadable.
I mean, it just seems like we wouldn't have to put all the information that's on the current sign, the new sign, about the primary care centers and Southern West Virginia College and all that. If we just had Lincoln County High School in big,
Put a big panther on it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be, I mean, I'd just like to see us do something other than just maintain what we presently have.
You know, we need to do something to tear it down.
No.
That's it.
Something on it.
Well, that's what I say too, I think we need to put something on it, tear it down. Don't want to sit there like this.
Since
Right.
we're talking about signs, when I was coming up this direction and I see this huge big building, and anybody that didn't know this was a high school, or a school, wouldn't know that. And I think it would be wonderful to have a sign here saying what the school is.
We would love a sign here.
Either on each end or at least somewhere in the middle. But it'd
We've
be
got the
nice.
brick for it.
Yeah.
We have plenty enough brick, Dana and I talked about this about a month ago. We have plenty enough brick left over from where they built the building, that, to build the foundation for it and everything. We would just need somebody to do the labor and the sign part of it.
The sign at Lincoln County High School is very nice, isn't it, guys?
It is nice.
And you have the brick to lay the foundation and everything for it, so we would just have to see what it would cost to get the letters and the, what is that made out of?
It's green.
Granite. Yeah.
How much did the sign piece cost for Lincoln County High?
We have to check and see. This is a beautiful building, it does need
It needs a sign, yeah, I agree.
Large enough to read.
Yes.
Is there anything else, Trish? Well, if not further, we'll ask for a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting till May the 1st.
I second.
How do you vote?
Yes.
Yes.